Hello everyone, Comic Novice here, and when I think of Fantastic Four, I sometimes think of the 2005 movie that some people enjoyed, the 2007 movie with the Silver Surfer, which I enjoyed, the other movie in 2015 that no one enjoyed, and then the one movie that never got the opportunity to not be enjoyed. However, today on New Comic Book Day, I have the brand new #1 issue of the Fantastic Four. So stay tuned, sit back, relax, and find out from a novice perspective if this comic is any good. All right, well, just finished reading issue #1 of Fantastic Four. Well, actually, issue number 694 of the Fantastic Four, because one of the ploys that Marvel does use to get and boost sales is to relaunch titles with #1s. Also, this has a Alex Ross cover, which is also an additional ploy to get people to pick up the title, because I do know from watching comics YouTube that people will purchase covers just because it's an Alex Ross. They might hate the title and detest the creative team, but there's an Alex Ross cover and they will buy it, so hence boosting sales. So I will tell you, as a novice to this is the first Fantastic Four comic I have read. And so there's some great things that I see in this comic and this going forward. There's a couple questions I have, and I hope some possible improvements. So starting us off with the story, I was very baffled by the first 3 pages of the story, because it kind of leads into like a question of what's going on, because all 3 pages are almost identical to one another. And so it's kind of a mystery, but there is a lack of detail in some of the cells, which I wish would have happened, because I felt lost. I did. And maybe that's on me, but I felt completely lost. I felt as though that the writing or something could have, the text could have said something. However, we are finally met with the innkeeper of the hotel or motel, shocked as Ben Grimm and girlfriend Alicia, I think girlfriend, anyway. There's a couple, I do have some questions regarding that too. However, they come in, obviously they are not in 1945's attire, but this hotel and the town that they are staying in is in 1947's attire. And then, so I do like the art. I will tell you, I did enjoy the art. The only thing that I had a problem with was Ben Grimm's, or the Thing's, nose. It felt off for some reason. I don't know why. It just didn't seem right. It didn't fit where I felt as though it should have fit. So that, but you know what? I'm a novice. Maybe that's just Ben Grimm. Maybe this is the first time I've seen it in comic form. So that, moving on with everything, we eventually get to a scene where I was almost expecting a jackhammer-ish type of sound effect, because Ben and Alicia were getting kind of frisky, I guess you could say. Again, interesting thing about this story is, it's almost like this whole Frankenstein monster type of a thing, where Ben Grimm comes and the motel manager is very upset. So somebody decides to attack him, but because they see that he is a rock monster, instead of just attacking him, he's going to drive a car right through the motel. However, the car disappears completely. And then as we get further into the story, we find that that they are aware that they're in 1947, and for some reason their cell phone still has a data plan in 1947. And then also, on top of that, we have a very confusing situation, because we find out that this is kind of like a Groundhog's Day type of a town, and things keep on getting reset. So the cell phone works, everybody gets reset, but Ben and Alicia don't get reset to certain places, because I guess they weren't there initially when the first Groundhog's Day incident happened. They're the only ones that are aware of anything, but their cell phone does not run out of batteries. I don't see a charger, and they have data plans. But you know what? Whatever. They needed some sort of plan to kind of like explain that this town was actually a ghost town, and people in this town disappeared over like 70 years prior. There's a couple of problems that I have with this story, and that is that there is hints in the story that stuff, modern stuff in Fantastic Four lore has happened. And as this is a number one, there should be an editor's notes explaining what is going on, what this references, where this can be found. Unless there is actually, maybe I'm incorrect, maybe I'm not, maybe it is, issues 2, 3, and 4 that will explain a couple things further. However, I would expect that there would be an editor's note saying, see details in Fantastic Four issue number 4 to be on sale in like February or something like that. That's what I would expect. I'm sorry, that's just kind of what I've expected. My novice approach to comics, I feel as though there's some instances, especially with Alicia saying that she has been with the Silver Surfer and that Ben has dated prior girls before this. I think I don't need a list of everything, but you know what? Editor's note, please. Like, when did this happen? You are, this is a number one issue, and you are banking on me having read everything, I guess. And if you're restarting it as a number one, you'd better fill in the gaps for those people who weren't there with you during issue number 1 when it was legitimately issue number 1, or the last time that you rebooted the universe or whatever you did. So that being said, those are kind of my critiques of the whole thing. We have this Groundhog's Day thing where it kind of gets a little cutesy and it gets stupid, whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. And then finally we get to the whole situation of the problem that one person has been exposed to it goes back to the opening scene that we saw multiple times with the nuclear experiment. Somebody got superpowers and is willing this town to repeat this day over and over again. And so they're stuck in a time loop, unknowing that they're stuck in a time loop. And it's happening because somebody's heart got broken. And I kind of like the idea of the story because sometimes, when we are hurt, we just wish and will ourselves to never move on. And so I kind of appreciate the underlying message of the story that's, sometimes as painful as certain things are, we need to move on with our life. We need to let other people move on with their life. So I do appreciate that. The final end scene leads us to something that Mr. Fantastic did. Again, question, is this happening previously in the Fantastic Four run? Or is this going to happen in the future? Editor's notes, please. What's going on? When did this happen? Explain it. But, aside from like the holes and lack of explanation, I will tell you, I feel as though I thoroughly did enjoy this comic. I am eagerly anticipating issue number two, and probably beyond because, I was entertained. Some annoyances, maybe some fixes, but again, I'm a novice at this whole thing. This is my perspective. What do you think? What did you think of issue number 1 that was done by Brian North or something like that? I do find the art was great. The cover is just breathtaking. So, props to Alex Ross for that. Also, stay tuned for future reviews featuring The Death of Superman. The Death of Superman. Oh, wait, look at that. Death of Superman. So that's going to be my next thing. Please stay tuned for that and some other things. Please like, subscribe, whatever you'd like to do. If you don't want to, leave a note, send an email, comicnovice@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you, I guess, in the back issues.